As on-demand carriers or even rideshare drivers, we rely completely on our phones to run our business. So it's important that we have our devices, platforms, and essential apps set up for success.
We're talking mile tracking, navigation, fuel, roadside assistance, maintenance, and phone settings. I am so excited to be delivering these tips and all things delivery really for consumers and drivers. Thank you for checking us out. Sawadee.
What's up, carriers? This is Deion.
And I'm Aya. Welcome to our channel. It's all about on-demand delivery for consumers or drivers. Please consider subscribing.
Having your phone and app set up from day one is going to save you time, frustration, and most importantly, money. These are some of the same apps that are crucial to Aya and Aya's business. Probably some you already have, but are you getting the most out of them? All apps are cross-platform for Android and iOS devices. Aya uses the iPhone. I use the iPhone. Aya uses the Galaxy S9 Plus.
Check yourself.
I use the iPhone 10. Everything may not be exactly the same depending on which versions you're using. For those of us who are using things like Google Pixels, please get in our comments and help the other carriers out and let them know some of the things you have going on your phone. Majority, if not all, the apps we're delivering you today have free versions. We did our own research, aka she did her own research. Disclaimer, this is not a tutorial on how to use these apps. It's more so of our suggestions of settings that you should have and features that you should use for your on-demand deliveries.
To follow along the video from start to finish, you'll need your selfie, debit and credit card info, routing and account number, your VIN or license plate number, and your current odometer reading. The links to the apps we're delivering you today will be down below in the description box.
Like we mentioned before, most of the things in this video will be suggestions. However, what's not is tracking your miles. That's non-negotiable. You'll be doing yourself a disservice if you do not keep track of all the miles you do on your deliveries.
You can only use your business miles when it comes to tax season. IRS considers business miles any miles driven between workplaces. So if you drive to a hot spot before you get started, those don't count. Neither does your trip home from your last drop off. You have two options when it comes to recording your mileage. You can do it manually or with an app. Obviously, if you're doing it manually, you will use your odometer by either resetting your trip when you start and recording your mileage when you stop, or just recording your car's total mileage at the beginning of your ride and at the end of your shift. You can have the apps detect your trips by manually turning it on and off during your shifts. You won't have any problems finding any free apps that manually detect your apps.
Problems with finding an app ain't one
that detects your miles manually. You will, on the other hand, run into apps that limit the number of miles you can track with auto detection or have low accuracy. The only one we found that's completely free and offers unlimited auto detection is Hurdlr. It also supports manual expense logging. The two things you may want to set up in there are adding a car and a custom expense category. For a paid app, I really liked Everlance. It's on Doordash's website for $1. It ended up being 60 cents. But since it's a paid app and it's $60 yearly, I'm going to continue using Stride. It's the one I really like, and that's one we recommend.
It's free.
It's so simple.
There's no ads.
They have automatic ride-off tracking. They'll also send you notifications if they detect you driving for work without your mile tracker turned on. They have tons of info on their website. On their website. So definitely check it out, even if you don't want to download the app. In the Stride app, the two things you want to set up are linking your bank account and setting up your preferences. To link your bank account, click the three lines in the top left and click add your bank account and go through those steps. They'll have you sign in through your online banking portal through the app. For your preferences, go back into your account and click settings. We recommend adding the other category in my job since Stride doesn't offer an option to add custom categories. That way you can dump any miles that you track that aren't for work into that category. In the notifications, the only two we have turned on are remind me to start tracking my miles and remind me to stop tracking.
If you weren't tracking your miles before, but now you're going to start, let us know down in the comments which app you're going with. If you already been tracking your miles, just let us know which one's been working best for you. It'll help us out and your fellow carriers. For our navigation apps, we're starting off with Waze. It's a community-based traffic and navigation app. Waze usually gives faster routes via using local and back roads.
Via using.
Right.
It's the same word.
I know.
We're setting Waze up to go hands-free. Limit unnecessary reports on your map. Only track your location when in use and control when other Wazers can see you on the map.
Like the majority of apps we're delivering today, they want your information. So they're going to ask you to sign up with a general account. The first thing we're setting up is going invisible. To do this, just click the magnifying glass in the bottom left hand corner and click go invisible. I do just want to mention, in this mode, you will not be able to report incidents to other Waze users. Did I miss anything, Invisible Bae?
No, you got it.
For the time being, we're going to leave invisible mode toggled off. You do want to get back into your profile so we can change some of these preferences. You will see a gear in the top left corner. Click on that and then click on map and display. We just want to clean up your map a little bit, so you want to make sure you have a few things toggle on and off. Traffic is a must, making sure you're taking the quickest route at all times. A few things you don't need is having other users show up on your map or map chats. What you need to do is click on view on map, then reports, then map chats, and make sure it's toggled off, and toggle off Wazers as well. You should see traffic already checked. If not, make sure that is on. Here, you can make sure your tools are always on screen. That's your zoom, display, and compass buttons, and your search bar. Lastly, go ahead and choose what your car looks like when it appears on map. I wish they had the Monopoly car piece or the top hat. The next setting category we're getting into is voice and sound. We're gonna make sure the volume is turned all the way up for notifications. I typically drive with my Bluetooth headphones in, so I want my notification sounds to come through there. That's why I have play on phone speaker toggled off. I also have off mute during calls. Last thing in voice and sound is talk to Waze. You can do it one or two ways. See what I did there? It was on accident. So yeah, you can do it one or two ways. Either 3-finger tap, whichever 3 fingers, I don't know if you can do it like that, but whichever 3 fingers work for you. Or by saying, okay Waze.
I personally only have 3-finger tap turned on because it cancels out my other voice assistants, so I couldn't say okay Google if I have listen for okay Waze on.
The next setting is for when you get that dreaded low battery notification. Waze has an automatic battery saver. All you have to do is toggle it on here. The last 2 settings you need to go into are navigation and privacy. In navigation, you can control to avoid all tolls. If you have any toll passes, enter them here. And in privacy, you want to make sure your location isn't always on. Directions to 3812 Western Boulevard, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Sure, let's go to 3812 Western Boulevard. All set, let's go.
Show me alternate routes.
Okay, here are the other routes you can take.
Via Creedmoor is 0.2 of a mile less.
What's my next turn?
Turn right on Exacta Lane South.
When will I get there?
You're expected to arrive at 1858.
In the second half of navigation, we're diving into Google Maps. In this part of the video, we're creating lists that you can drop pins into for places you want to bookmark, rethinking your map style, and taking a look at offline maps. Google Maps is our favorite app if you're going to be delivering on foot or with your bike. If you aren't already, sign in by clicking the 3 lines on the top left and use your Gmail account. Go ahead and add in your home and work just like you did in Waze so you can get there quickly from anywhere. Click saved and there's a plus sign in the bottom right hand corner. Click that to create a new list. The 2 lists that we've found most helpful are hotspots, because the hotspots that the apps give you aren't always that poppin', and do not accept. And we use this list very, very loosely. We aren't quick to just drop any place in there that we've had one bad experience with. It's usually places that time and time again have cost us time and money, so they're just not worth it. After you've created the lists that are going to be helpful for you on your drives, go back to your account and click offline maps. The reason I like having an offline map downloaded is because for me, losing navigation is probably like top 5 worst things that could happen while I'm driving.
Top 5.
Having an online map downloaded allows you to continue your step-by-step navigation even when you lose service or Wi-Fi. We expanded our offline maps to include the surrounding cities. So right now we're in Raleigh, but our map includes Durham, Cary, and the surrounding areas.
If you would like to change your map style, you can do that by clicking the layer icon in the top right corner and go to default, satellite, or terrain. Aya and I prefer satellite because it gives you images of actual landmarks, trees, roads. You can also add map details such as transit routes and traffic jams. And for my cyclists, bicycling details to tell you where the cycling lanes are at.
Next, we'll talk about some of the features that we use in Google Maps. The first one is to save your parking. Click the blue dot that represents where you are on the map and just click find parking. The other feature that a lot of people don't know about is that you can zoom in with one hand, double tap, and on the second tap, hold it and slide up in the direction you want to zoom. The main thing we like using Google Maps for is the same thing we like using Google for, to find information. And you can do this one of two ways. Click the pin on the map for the location if you can find it. If not, use the search box and type in your text or click the microphone to dictate. Okay, Google, take me to the nearest Shell gas station. Once you have the place pulled up, it'll have the name, how long it takes you to get there, what type of place it is. If it's not a restaurant, if it is, it'll tell you what type of cuisine they serve and what their hours are. From that same screen, you can call the restaurant. You can click on the address to save it into one of your lists. You can long press directions to skip the directions screen and immediately launch navigation. It'll automatically pick the quickest and shortest route. If you don't long press and you just click on directions, it'll take you immediately to the directions screen, and then you still have to click start now from there. I think my favorite feature though is Street View. Right above the address there's a picture that you can click on and it will have the storefront on it. Both Android and iPhone support voice commands in Google Maps. On Android, you do have to be en route though to activate OK Google. Otherwise, it'll just pull up your voice assistant. A go around is to use Bixby to search in Google Maps. Otherwise, just tap the microphone. If you're on iPhone, your only option is to type the microphone. One thing I really like about Google Maps is that you can talk to it continuously, unlike Siri and Bixby where you have to wait for them to acknowledge that they're ready for a command. You can just say, okay, Google, and follow up with whatever you have to say. Some of our most useful commands are, okay, Google, is there any traffic? How far away am I? What street is this? How's traffic ahead? Show me the route overview.
Here's your route overview. There's not much traffic.
And of course, all the commands that were useful in Waze as well. Let us know if you're using Google or Waze, or if you use them in combination, Google to find info or Waze to navigate. Please like and share the video if you found it helpful. You tell any of your courier friends they can find our videos with #DeliverinAnswerin. Any questions you have, leave them down below, also with #DeliverinAnswerin, and we'll get back to you.
Like and subscribe.